All right, so let's see. So tell me a bit about yourself. What do you do? Like what games do you play? What are you trying to improve at, etc.
Yeah, so right now I pretty much don't play any other games besides Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Um I've been playing for quite a while. I think 2015
Oh,
is when I started. Um and it's kind of been on and off because of my previous job.
mm-hmm.
So I would there was one point I was gone for a year
Mm-hmm.
um out of country. So yeah, it's kind of like hasn't been like exactly the most streamlined thing. So like I kind of had to like pick back up where I left off, and oftentimes I was behind where I left off. So
Mm-hmm.
I have I played a little bit of I played ESEA main for a little bit with just
Mm-hmm.
some friends, and then um, I ended up not wanting to play anymore, and so not doing that anymore. I mainly just do pugs on Face It.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, lately it's been bad. My aim has like devolved into a trash can.
Okay.
It's just
S-
it's just gotten super sloppy. So I'm doing the old savior technique, changing
mm-hmm.
senses, um, trying to uh look at different equipment. Like I don't know. It's been hard for me. I've never like really found a mouse that has felt super comfortable for
Okay.
me,
Do you have
like
a
day
hand
by
camera?
day. Um, I can. Let me see if I can find my webcam. It's somewhere around
Nice.
here. Uh, no, one sec.
Nice. I'll answer any questions anyone has after the stream or after like the coaching session, but I'm glad to see people showing up for the stream. Thanks for coming. Nice. So you'll set up the hand cam and what mouse are you using right now?
I cannot find the webcam.
Mm.
But right now I'm using the Vaxi wireless. And I mean, I have a plethora of mouses that I've gone through. Um, I've tried the newer Pulsar mouse. Probably the longest mouse I stuck with was probably the G Pro Superlight. Um, I tried out some Ergo
What's the newer
mouses.
pulsar mouse that you were using?
What is that one called? Um, it's their Ambi one. Yeah, the Pulsar X2. It's the not the mini, but the full size one.
Okay. And what don't you like about these mice?
Funny enough, I don't know. It's just hard for me to get comfortable with my hand because like I like a kind of like medium to bigger mouse that I can fit my whole hand on and has like a hump to support my palm. And
Mm-hmm.
some of like the Pulsar X2 was just too flat in my hand, which is probably why I stuck with the Superlight for so long because it
Mm-hmm.
had a bigger hump in the back. Uh, I had the Lamzu Atlantis, which I really liked,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of just had to stop using it because of I use scroll wheel for jump, and
Mm-hmm.
it would like the notch would knock down, and I would just like randomly jump
Mm-hmm.
like during games, so I couldn't use it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so
Hmm. Let me think for a minute. So you just hate all your mice.
I wouldn't say I hate them. It's just that I've never felt like 100% confident, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's just me. Like, because like I feel streaky. Like my
Mm-hmm.
aim is streaky. Like one day I could just be absolutely dialed, and then the next day it just feels.
That's not a mouse issue. That's not a gear issue for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and yeah. No, it's not a gear, and that's like probably me just playing a mental game in my head as
Yeah,
to what I can blame it on besides myself.
it is easy to psych yourself into having like doubt about your gear, but where you are looking for a specific shape, um, you definitely I can see there being some truth to what you say about your aim, if that makes sense. Like usually when people say, "Oh, my grip's the issue," I'm like, or my mouse is the issue with this, I'm like, no, it's not. It's just you're bad. But for some people, like in your case, I'd say if you have a very specific mouse shape that you like, it may be beneficial to you. To like, it may what's the words I'm looking for? You may actually know what you want. If you know what you want, then maybe you're right. So let's see. Mouse. I saw a thing a while ago. I'm not much of a mouse person myself, but I saw a thing a while ago where let's see, it was like B series. It was like a mouse fitting kit where you get like Zowie to send you pay like a small amount of money. Zowie sends you a ton of mice, and then you try them all out. And if you like one of them, then you can send it back and you purchase one of them. It's 10 mice for you to try for 2 weeks, and then you just mail the kit back to them with a prepaid label. If you wanted to give that a go and see if any of those mice you really liked them, I'd look into that. I just sent you a link to that. I'm also gonna look for hmm,
Yeah, because I think the like I've always like I've liked the way that ergo mouses fill out my hand, but at certain points it feels hard for me to like make micro adjustments because it's just like holding a big potato in my hand
mm-hmm,
because it's so damn like I'm so used to using like ambidextrous mouses that are like a little bit more flat and have a slight hump in the back
mm-hmm,
compared to like an ergo mouse that is like quite large, has a very defined hump
mm-hmm,
like the EC2s or the was it the Razer Death Adder that they was it the Death Adder? I can't remember.
mm-hmm,
But the newest ergo mouse that Razer came out with, I also have that one. I've tried both of them. Uh, they don't feel bad. It just at a certain point, I feel like it's like so restricting in my hand.
mm-hmm. So what I sent you a link to, I
Mhm.
see what you're saying, like where you want like a specific thing. I think if you have like the specific hump and you want to fit your hand a certain way, then I'm not gonna tell you that like, oh, you're it's all in your head like I would for people like, nah, it's my mouse, man. I'm telling you it's but I do think that you might be putting some more weight into what you expect a mouse to change for you than what it will. It'll be comfortable. Like if your mouse is uncomfortable, it'll be comfortable. Um yeah. The other link I sent you was something I found a year ago. Basically, you send in I it was a product that someone was working on. I don't know if it ever actually went publicly live. If it did, it probably would have by now. It's just you can send in a modeling clay shape of a mouse and they'll send you back that mouse 3D printed and like just actually make the mouse that you sent in modeling clay for so you can have like the mouse in a shape that you want it to be in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've come across these guys.
Yeah. If you want to look into that, I say sure. But let's take a look at how you actually play in game and try and like see how your aim is, so we can actually get something for you to practice that because that'll give you the real like benefits. if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
So if you can
Um.
share to me a deathmatch,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. I will say, like, probably one of my downfalls. Like, it's weird, and I've watched your videos before.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Especially because you have one that's like specifically catered towards aim is not translating into game, and that's like me to
Mm-hmm.
a T because I feel really good in KovaaKs because I have like 100 hours in KovaaKs,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily know that I'm really practicing for what is like going to uh, be best for me, I guess.
All right. If I can look at your CSGO and then look at what you're doing in KovaaKs, I can probably tell you whether or not you're on the right track.
Okay. Yeah, hold on, let me stream game.
Perfect. Thank you. Play CSGO, workshop maps, community server.
You just want me to go in DM?
Yeah, yeah, just a deathmatch.
All right.
I was just reading what you were clicking for no reason.
It's gonna lag super hard for
No
like the
worries.
first couple boot. It takes a minute.
Internet's warming up.
Uh, CS:GO has this. It's just super trash when it comes to
Hmm.
optimization.
I think it might have something to do with the way Valve lays out their company. I'm I was talking to my friend about this the other day. He was telling me at Valve the devs basically just do whatever they want and then they kind of write at the end of the week I did this work to make the company closer to having money rather than the company being like, "Oh, we want to make a CS2. Let's make a CS2." It wasn't like Valve wanted to make the CS2. It was a bunch of developers within the company got together and like, "Hey, what if we made CS:GO 2 and then just made it?"
And
If
it's
you
a
know what I
smart
mean?
move.
And that's
Yeah.
like kind of why some of their big projects just get scrapped and it's a little bit of a it's an interesting way to run a business if you ask me. Like everything they do, they just kind of do it
Yeah,
instead of
it's like their biggest problem with CS:GO is no one could write code for it because it's like spaghetti code.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people are just
Yeah.
doing whatever they want, like you're bouncing between teams, doing whatever, it ends up, especially with a 10-year-old game, because people make a quick patch when they're rushing, and then it works, so now they're focused on something else, and just gets kind of messy.
Yeah, I mean, I think like my biggest downfall is sometimes like I can't find a happy medium. Um, Sometimes I'll just like find myself like over flicking or under flicking, but it's like almost like when I'm thinking too hard about it is when it happens. Because when I'm just doing like reactionary shots, like something like someone's behind me, I flick almost naturally to their head. but when I'm staring straight at them, it's like my body becomes like just frozen.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just a lot of mental, and especially in game because like now, like my aim is like I'm pretty much moving this entire time, shooting and moving. But when it comes in game, that stops a lot. Like the gameplay becomes a lot more stale, I guess you could say. Because like I'm constantly like having to like flick around and shoot, but in game, like I find myself holding angles a lot more, where it's like more stale.
Hmm. You feel better success when you're holding angles when someone peeks the angle you're holding, or again, relative to how other people feel, because obviously this would be harder in general, or when someone peeks an angle you're not holding.
Um,
Like, do you feel like you get
Probably.
a lot of the shots, more shots of when someone peeks the angle you're not holding and surprises you than you should compared to how often you actually get the person who peeks the angle you're holding, but maybe throws off your crosshair placement a bit by peeking too short or going low or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I have more success not holding angles. Like just kind of just
Mm-hmm.
like when I hold angles, like it's almost like my aim does not want to move, and like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like especially when it comes to pistols because people are doing a lot more moving. Like they're taking shots and then
Mm-hmm.
counter strafing or crouching or whatever the case may be. It's like I just can't keep up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just behind or I'm just not tracking. It's
Really? Because what I've seen so
it's
far from people strafing, and I guess you haven't seen too many people doing a good long engagement of counter strafing, but you seem to have a pretty good grasp of hitting moving enemies in general. Ah, like I guess those are just two bad examples, but I've seen you hit some, at least people moving in one direction. What I've noticed a lot of is once you start missing, you don't really recover from it, if you know what I mean.
yeah, that's my biggest issue.
It's
If I
like,
miss those first couple shots, like
yeah,
it's almost like I become a rock.
your first flicks are pretty accurate, and but after that, you're not very accurate. So we're gonna do a little two-pronged approach at this because for one thing, you do need to work on doing that with recoil existing, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So there will be part of the time where I want you to just practice what we're practicing in KovaaKs, but in CS with like an AK, and you can probably hop to KovaaKs now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because like typically, like with my sense,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how it feels, like it feels too fast that day, and I feel like I'm really like never warming up to it, and I'm just feel like I'm all over the place, then it's pretty much becomes an uphill battle
Mm-hmm.
from there on out. For
All right.
like that day, it's just like I could get on one day and just be feeling okay. I could feel super confident in game, but as soon as I see that my aim is bad, my gameplay
Mm-hmm.
becomes bad.
Okay, so Box TS is that's 107, so it's like okay. Hop into show me what you've been doing for training.
I will either do. So this is like more warm up for me. Like I'll
Okay,
just do
let's skip.
these.
Show me 112 targets, horizontal flag, 504, 112, wide 4, 116. Okay, keep
And
scrolling.
sometimes I don't even go through the whole
Okay,
playlist.
yeah.
Like I'll just
Making
do it until like my aim feels warm, and then I'll just kind of
Okay.
hop over to CSGO for a short amount of time before I play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing the Voltaic playlist
Okay.
for a while. Um,
It's rather random, but okay.
eh, yeah, I think it's more like Voltaic is more towards their like benchmarking for them, rather than being game specific. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of did whatever.
Okay.
And then I
So
do like Bardo's
let
routine.
me see what was on that. I
So
don't know. I don't know which one that would be. Uh, Vox. Okay, okay. Um, yeah. Go to online scenarios. Search up for me
oh, sorry.
my favorite scenario: raw mouse control, clicking three.
To say it again.
Raw mouse control, clicking three, no spaces.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, I want to see how you play this. Play it. Hmm. What sensor you running, roughly?
0.95 at 800.
Do you know what that is in centimeters?
I do not, but I can
All
find
right, hold
out.
up. Let me pull up a calculator.
I know it's like considerably slow compared to a lot of people, but just the nature of the game I play.
What was the DPI? 800?
Yeah, 800. Yeah,
0.95.
yeah, that's CS:GO sensitivity.
Okay, 54 centimeters. That's pretty average. Um, hit done. Okay. Go to the reflex version, like five down. Right there. Yep. Challenge it. Cool. Hop to 116 target small for me.
I haven't played it all today, so could be a little rough. Damn, I'm shaky.
All right. So, hmm. What you'll notice there is that hmm. So the first thing I noticed was that your vertical micro adjustments are definitely a bit worse than your horizontal micro adjustments. Not even a bit, but like noticeably worse, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, where else did I want to go with this? Your micro adjustments took up like 90% of that run, not literally, but they took up a very large percent of that run. They were pretty slow overall. I
Hmm.
think, but the flicks are pretty accurate and very fast, right? So overall, not bad, but it looks almost like you're only trying to aim with your arm. And I think you are trying to aim at least with your arm and then maybe a bit of wrist motion and nothing else.
Yeah, I don't use my fingers at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't play palm, but I play claw by
Mm-hmm.
definition. But my fingers never really get used. Like
Hmm.
they pretty much stay stagnant the entire time.
If
So
you
yeah, I mean,
relaxed your hand a little bit, would they be able to move without even changing that much?
I would probably have to think about it, just because like
Here,
I've
let's go back to
become.
a raw mouse control clicking 3.
Uh,
Play this scenario and double your sense for me. It'd be right there, yeah. So like, just go 2.
I'll just do two. Yeah.
Yeah. Play it. Just try and relax your hand and see if you can use your fingers at all. Are you able to?
Yeah, I mean I can.
That's good. Okay, cool. Surprisingly, pretty close to that previous score, even though you were on double the sense. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But
People be fast on
yeah, I don't know. I don't see too many relevant names on that list.
this.
Um, Sometimes I'll see people who I've coached in the past, like one below this. Oh, cartoons on the list. I didn't notice that. But yeah, sometimes I'll see people I've coached in the past, like one score below people who I'm coaching. The person I'm coaching actively on like various scenarios and stuff, and I always think that's pretty cool. But
Oh yeah.
where was I going with this? So what you'll notice is that when you just allow for just a little bit of finger motion, it doesn't have to be much, you get that like vertical motion a lot more comfortably. Because the next best place for vertical movements is from your shoulder, right? Like when you
Yeah.
think about it, what's like you got your fingers right on the mouse, make a very small movement, like the same things you can use to write versus your shoulder all the way up trying to move that slightly onto someone's head. It's a lot harder. It's not impossible. It can be trained, but it's a bit easier if you let the very small, precise things fall into a bit of finger motion, especially when your grip lets you comfortably do that without even really changing that much other than just relaxing your hand a little.
Yeah. Because I guess like if I'll show you like an example,
Mm-hmm.
like just on here. Like this could be like, and this mainly falls into, I guess it falls into every adjustment that I need to make. I mean, because at least in like 5v5 tactical shooters, like
Mm-hmm.
this, like I could be here with a pistol and knowing that the headshot is one shot kill with no head armor, and I like it's almost like I become stuck here and I can't
Yeah.
aim, like I can't adjust up without like
That's what
because
I
if I use
noticed
my
in
whole
game. In the
arm,
AK, you just default to spraying.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I tried just going in and just like being precise, but it doesn't necessarily help because I'll go on like streaks to where um it will be good looking, but it's mainly just because of crosshair placement. Like it's not because
Hmm.
of raw aim. It's a
And
lot of it
sometimes
like
you'll get the initial flick landed on target, and it will be fine, right?
yeah.
That's not a common occurrence, but that happens with you. So that's what I noticed in game, especially. Like you said, your issue was the under flicking and the over flicking. That wasn't really an issue. Your flicks were overall very accurate, especially for their pace. The issue was that you couldn't recover from the under flicking and the over flicking, so that you always felt like that was your issue, right?
Yeah, I can't like yeah, because what I find is like yeah, exactly what you said. Like I'm like flicking here,
And then you
but
can't.
once I hit here, I don't adjust back here. I just stay here
Mm-hmm.
and then I spray and hope that I can bring the spray back
Exactly.
over here. So I'm already committed to like that. But I'm like out here, then I want to try and adjust back
Mm-hmm.
here. And if I adjust back here, it's like way over in no man's land.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I would recommend doing some, at least some CSGO headshot only death matches, seeming as you're a CSGO player. That makes
mm,
sense to me. Um, I'd recommend doing some. Yeah, let me just write that down in chat. Do some headshot only. I'll just do routine. Some headshot only DM. So some headshot only DM. Um, that would just help you out a bit. And also, I'd just go into practice, like some kind of empty CSGO map or like some custom map that you think would work for this. I don't really know any CSGO custom maps off the top of my head, but I would go into one of them and I'd just go for recoil control plus micros. Basically, just trying to spray and also make micro adjustments just so that you can get used to the aim shot or the aim mechanics, right?
mhm.
The headshot only and the spraying and micro adjusting at the same time because those things are complicated. And then KovaaKs, what we're really going to work on is actually getting you to a point where you can make micro adjustments comfortably without like taking into account for the other things, right? So just do those two things on your own like free will when you want to. And how long do you tend to aim train per day?
I mean, like most like weekday, like I really only play with friends. Like when
Mm-hmm.
they're on, like I
Mm-hmm.
won't go solo queue because I don't want to
Be
bash my
bored.
head against a wall. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty painstaking.
Yeah,
But
no worries.
what's it called? I typically like if on like a weekday and stuff, I'll hop on KovaaKs and try and do like 3/4 of a routine, if not like half,
So
until
like
I'm
20
feeling
minutes.
yeah, like I'd probably say like closer to like 30.
Okay,
Is
closer to
probably
30, but not 30, and you're kind of pushing
yeah,
it, and you don't always make it.
and it depends on how uh how much of a perfectionist I'm trying to be that day. Because like I guess with static routines, I follow the Bardo's rule, where it's like
Hmm.
you can't like you reset in the first 10 seconds if you miss a
Yep,
shot,
that
and then
explains it.
yeah. So
That's
sometimes I'll spend
another
more
way that
time.
people usually end up bad at micro adjustments.
Oh really?
Because think about it. How do you improve at something? You make errors at that thing, right?
Yeah.
So you make fast flicks where you have a lot of errors and you get really good at making fast flicks. But your micro adjustments, you're never pushing yourself on them. You're going very slow and just making sure you get on target and just trying to never miss with them, right?
Yeah.
So you end up like Bardo's, godly, like the best initial flicks in the world by a long shot. And then when compared to other people at his level, below average micro adjustments, which are still very good, don't get me wrong, extremely good micro adjustments. But compared to the other people who are near him on leaderboards and even nowadays above him, not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense actually a lot. It happens to a lot of people who follow that routine. They end up, yeah, exactly like you, fast flex. slow micro adjustments. I probably should have made that connection before. Like watch a Bardo's VOD in slow motion versus a cartoon or someone else VOD in slow motion. You'll notice I say cartoon because a lot of the other static players are much lower sense, so their micros are they're kind of at an advantage for micro adjustments. But
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice cartoons are a bit faster.
Okay.
And yeah. So what I would recommend for that is obviously don't ape, but just go a bit faster with your micro adjustments, push pace. Don't worry too much as much about accuracy, right? Because if you're going for 98% accuracy and resetting a bunch, it's just not the best idea. So like for this scenario, for example, I usually recommend people go for like, depending on who it is, how focused they can stay, like 60 to 85% accuracy, because that way you're pushing yourself, you're making mistakes on the micro adjustments and all those things, but you're still able to focus, acknowledge every error is an error. Like an example I used yesterday was when you make a mistake, when you miss, think about it like get studying for a test and using flashcards. If you just see, oh, I'm wrong, and just throw it off to the side every time you get a flashcard wrong, you're not gonna really learn much because you're not actually focusing. But if you're like, oh, I missed, or oh, that's not what it is, it's actually this, and like read the thing a few times and really try to remember it, then you'll improve a lot. Same kind of mental approach goes here, where if you try to really acknowledge and be aware of your errors and mistakes for flicks, then you'll actually improve. Versus if you don't and you kind of screw around, you might not improve as much, or you will not improve as much.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
All
Okay.
right, nice.
So
So
I have a bad habit
yeah,
of
not
following
a
that
bad
rule.
habit. It's just a different technique, and it got you very
Yeah.
fast, very accurate initial flicks. Don't get me wrong, and that's a good thing. But it just also it's a separate technique, and it's like very good for getting high scores in 1 while 6 targets, which is what it was designed for. So I'm not saying it's a bad habit by any means. It's just a technique that has a doesn't cover all of the skills, if that makes sense. Like if someone had pretty good micro adjustments, but their fast flicks were really slow and smooth, I might give them a Bardo's method or something similar to really work on their speeding up their flicks. But for you, where your flicks are pretty a few tiers above your micros, I'd really just want you to work on the micro adjustments and hit done for me on this scenario. The other thing I want and hit escape. Um,
Is it gonna do
is it
the
not
thing?
popping up on the side? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a interesting bug that's been happening lately. Hit search up wide wall 4 targets Pokeball. It's the space.
Yep. Is that?
All spaces.
We'll see if it pops
Well,
up.
it'll because there's a
Target.
lot of wide wall 4 targets without Pokeball. I think it'll be plural targets, but it might. And then go down one. Extra small, try extra small. I want to see if it's go up to extra small and try extra small. I don't know if they
Oh,
made it
this one. Yeah.
yeah, that one. I don't know if they made it actually extra small or a bit smaller than small, if you know what I mean. Hit play
Yeah.
and let's see. Yeah,
Holy
that's too small.
shit.
Get out of there. That's too small.
Oh my god.
It was actually hit small. There's a
Yeah.
pretty standard. Okay, yeah, that's more of a small bot. And then you might want to change your body color to not be the same as your background color so you can actually see the bots.
Yeah. Should be under
It's
here
pretty
pretty good.
standard in KovaaKs where what? Enemy color's body is purple. How can you not see him? Oh, override head color. Try checking that. Save it. There we go. Play it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
We want me to keep doubled sense.
Oh, we're still in double sense? I'll go off that.
Yeah.
You're holding down shoot the entire time, right?
Oh no, I thought this was like.
No, no, it's a Pokeball scenario, so it's like each bot
Okay.
has
Yeah.
fixed health. and you kind of just gotta
Okay,
spray them.
gotcha. Yeah, I was just wondering. I was like, they keep respawning in the same place, but I
Yeah,
forgot. It's been a while since I played
no
overall
worries.
scenarios.
Try not to add too much tension to your mouse unnecessarily. Try to flick a bit faster. You can do faster than that. Flick like it's a CSGO enemy in game trying to shoot you. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I do things like especially in KovaaKs, it feels like when I overflick and I know that I overflick, the next adjustment in my head is okay, I'll just slow down, and
Don't
then I'll
slow down as
underflick.
much. Just try not to slow down on this one. Just try to keep the in-game pace going.
Okay.
Play it again and try to do that with in-game pace. Cool. So it felt like you were even slowing down a bit towards the end of that. Just really remember, you don't have to slow down for this,
Yeah.
right? You can just keep going, if that makes sense. Is that what I want to say? Yeah. You don't have to slow down for this one. You want to try and speed up. On a few of your good flicks that were actually in game pace, I noticed you were shaking a bit when you landed. Try to avoid that. But overall, just try to make your micro adjustments faster.
Yeah.
And another thing about what you said when you say I overflick, so you slow down. Again, this is all
Hmm.
practice. This isn't, you're not trying to perform at your highest point in KovaaKs, right? Anyone can slow down so that your issues aren't issues anymore, right? That's very easy to do.
Yeah.
But actually confronting them, speeding up, and still facing them and trying to improve them without slowing down and making things effortless, that's where difficulty comes in. That's where you actually improve.
Okay.
So, yeah, just work on that a bit, I guess, if you can. Let's see. So I don't want to go with this. So I'm gonna start setting up your routine to make sure that, because once I start setting up the routine, it kind of organizes my thoughts on where to go next.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna have you do some raw mouse control and raw mouse control reflex. Those are like my favorite micro adjustment scenarios. I give them to a lot of people. Probably most people I coach, and at least for TAC FPS games, I give at least like one play of that scenario in somewhere in the routine too. Just because micro
Okay.
adjustments are such a big thing in TAC FPS. But for you, it'll be a main focus. Let's see, because that's what we really want to work on for you. Um, and it's loading in. KovaaKs is taking forever to load. New playlist. Create online. New. So We said 20 minutes a day, roughly.
Probably closer to 30.
Okay, 30.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 30 flat, and it won't bother me.
Closer to 30.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and you'll be able to actually consistently stick with that.
Yeah, 30 minutes a day is easy because I typically do like 30 minutes of like a KovaaKs just scenario training. Um, and then I'll do probably like 30 to 40 minutes on CSGO. So
Okay.
typically like I'm here like an hour and a half practicing
Okay.
because then I'll spend like my other time outside of aim training like util and positioning and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
spend a considerable amount of time, and that's why I'm at this point of frustration because I spent all this time trying to learn the game, but my
Mm-hmm.
aim is not translating. Like it's
Yeah,
not even.
I
I
see what you're
figured
saying.
out it's a lot of it is not my positioning. It's just my aim is getting me killed. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting out aimed in uh most scenarios I play the game. Like my aim, I'm like in game my aim I'm not confident in.
Mm-hmm.
So like sometimes I'll like take a fight for like half a second, then I'll
Mm-hmm.
duck and then go and fight again. So it's a bad habit and it's becoming even worse because my confidence is going down even more
Mm-hmm.
and my ability to aim. But when I'm in DM, it feels nice. So I go in game confident, and then it happens like a couple times, and I'm like, all right, this is just where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm just looking for a specific scenario right now. Hold on a second. All right, cool. Search up micro plus plus reflex and then the letters MS for me. Did you do it yet? I'm not on your stream right now. Yep.
You said micro plus plus
Micro. Yeah,
MS.
just with the MS. We don't. Third one down, so the middle one.
This one, 250
Wait,
MS.
actually, yeah. Do. No, the one above it actually. Sorry.
Okay, this one.
Yep. But
You're just supposed to click on these things, or you're just
yeah.
supposed to. What is the quickest? And I will say, like, probably one of my downfalls is I have shaky aim. Like, especially when it comes to making micros.
You don't really have shaky aim for the sake of shaky aim. You just don't have good precise control of your mouse.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a
Uh,
difference. So
yeah, I just that's always, and that's what I guess I've been chasing with mouses, which could not be a mouse issue. It could just
it's
be
not a mouse. Oh,
me.
the shakiness is definitely not a mouse issue. No, it's a issue of just your actual ability to control the mouse, because your aim is shaking when you try to aim because you're just what's the words I'm looking for? Not because there's some external thing making you shake, but just because your inability to be precise with a certain motion looks like shaking.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So
You know, it does.
let's see. I've thrown together 8 scenarios. That scenario definitely a bit on the harder side for you, but I'm gonna leave it in because that was your first run of it and it was only a bit on the harder side, so you'll be able to handle it, especially after like a few days of running this routine. You'll be very good with it. So what I set
Hmm.
up for you was a 10-minute or a 30-minute routine, sorry, 32 minutes technically, since that made it a clean every scenario gets 4 runs. If you want to, I can chop off 2 minutes from it if you want.
No,
All right.
whatever you put in is
So what
fine.
I do is we open with one, raw mouse control clicking 3 and raw mouse control clicking 3 reflex, which basically do the same thing where they force you to work on your micros. Just the reflex version also gives you a bit of reaction component, which is pretty important for TAC FPS. And I want you to really focus in these scenarios on relaxing your hand and allowing your fingers to do some of the work.
Okay.
And then the next 2 scenarios are wide wall, Pokeball, Frenzy, Auto, wide wall, 3 and 4 respectively, target small. And those 2 scenarios will force you to flick fast and then make a micro adjustment. In these scenarios, I want the focus to really be on making the micro adjustment as fast as possible, right? And trying to
Okay.
have a faster micro adjustment. Maybe not as fast as possible to the point where you're aping, but just make faster micros and don't shake after your flicks. One wall 6 targets small. I want you to just not bard pill on this one. Just push base a bit on the micros. Don't ape again. Don't go for like 20 micros, but just allow for some misses. Go a bit faster. One wall, 6 targets, micro plus plus. That's a scenario that'll feel pretty similar to raw mouse control clicking 3, except 6 targets, and they'll be a little bit bigger. Just go for some faster micros because they'll be there's a lot of targets in a confined space and they're relatively big, so you should be able to move around pretty quickly there. So try and push speed a bit. Micro plus plus 6 for hip fire. That'll be slightly smaller targets in a slightly bigger space. So just bounce around between them the same way, but you might need to focus on a bit more precision there. And then the final one is reflex micro plus plus flick horizontalish 250 milliseconds. For this one, I just want you to focus on reacting and flicking and making the micro adjustments with the reaction component and all that stuff, like small, precise, fast flex. And that way, I think you'll get much better at micro adjustments much faster.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, does that. And I'll write all these things down for you real quick. Micro. Don't. I'm not sure how many of my coaching sessions you've watched. Have you watched
Hmm.
any?
I had like a short amount of time yesterday where I looked at it for a little bit, but I wasn't there very long.
Okay.
The one needed yesterday.
Okay, cool, cool. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just I'll recommend Pokeball scenarios a lot. that are similar
Hmm.
to the ones I recommended you, but I'm having you play them very differently. Like for most people, I have bigger targets and they just focus on stopping power because that's a kind of a common issue. But for you, I really want you to focus on just transitioning a flick into a micro adjustment, which is a bit different. So I'm giving you smaller scenarios where you can really focus on quick micros right after a quick flick. So it's just different. So I just want to make sure you didn't get the instructions wrong because you were thinking about something I've told someone else.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, really.
Let's see. Do you have any other questions for me that you want to go over?
Uh, Not that I can think of.
Cool. Um, so did I cover everything you were hoping to cover this session?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I guess the mouse issues is kind of something I'm gonna have to figure out.
Yeah,
Just figure out something comfortable. So,
yeah, I'm
uh,
sorry I wasn't able to give you all that you wanted with
no, no,
that.
you're good. I
Let's
always look for recommendations, but then again, like sometimes recommendations aren't always like I guess mouses and mouse pads and things of like all the aesthetic stuff is
Mhm.
hard for making recommendation because every
Yeah,
person is different.
exactly. So, hmm, I'm gonna I'm gonna hop to my next coaching session if that's good with you. If you got nothing left to
Yeah,
go
man.
over. All right, cool. If you think of any questions you want to get asked, just DM them to me at any time. If I don't
Okay.
respond to a DM, that's not because I'm ignoring you or I lied about. It's just because I read it right after I woke up, and then started typing a response, forgot, took a shower, and then just closed my phone. And now I don't have the notification. So just DM me like a period, like the next day or something. If I forget to answer DM, it's not a personal attack. It's just I genuinely forgot. It happens from time to time.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No
All right,
worries, man.
bye. Thank you.
All right. Later. Yep.
Off to how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Oh shoot, there's a stream delay or something because you were still talking to the other dude.
Yeah, no, there is a bit of a stream delay on these. Sorry about that.
No, I'll get.
I didn't mean to have it there. It's just I don't know how to remove it. I've tried to remove it, and YouTube is like, yeah, but this will ruin your bit rate. I'm like, oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So what are you trying to improve at?
So I'm just trying to get better at like aiming in general. I guess the main game that I play is Valorant.
Okay.
I peaked Diamond 2 last year, but then because of work, I left the country for 6, 7 months.
Okay.
And I haven't played in a long time. Just got back into it this last month.
Mhm.
I feel like I fell off a lot. I've
Mhm.
never really done any aim trainers,
Mhm.
but just as like a base, a benchmark, I use the range a lot. And when I did
Mhm.
bots on hard difficulty, I would peak at like 20, 23, 24, and
Mhm.
now I can't get into the 20s. Um, so I don't know. I want to kind of like get somebody who understands a little bit more about aiming and seeing what they think I can improve on. I got a webcam if you wanted to do
Nice.
hand cam.
Um,
Uh,
I won't
Not
say
exactly
anything
sure why the set up.
immediately. If you want to turn it on, you can turn it on. I'll look at it.
Oh, it is working. Nice.
Why does everyone have the same mouse pad and it's always destroyed?
This one, you know what the worst part is? I just got it and it's already destroyed. I just wanted a bigger mouse pad, and I think this was the only big size mouse pad they had at Best Buy.
There's a double XL glorious one on Amazon that I really enjoy. I don't know. You
Let's
might
see.
want to look into it. I can send you a link to it. It.
Yeah, that'd be
I've only
dope.
gone through a few of them. I've gone through a few of them, but they last me like 3 to 6 months.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've had this for about a month. So, what do you want me to open up?
Show me a
Kovac,
Valorant deathmatch
Valorant,
to start.
Valorant Deathmatch. Cool. I caught a bit of the last lesson. That was the first time I've ever seen one of your lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the number one thing I would want to ask is um, what you would think about my mouse grip, because I feel like that's my biggest like issue right now.
Let
Like
me
it
see it in action
physically.
before I see it. Before I say
Gotcha.
anything like that.
Huh. Hey, can I disconnect and call you back? It's not letting me share my Valorant
Yeah, no
screen for
worries.
some reason.
No worries. Yeah, I put the playlist for the last guy in the description along with a summary of his session. All right, perfect. We got everything now. Full screen. Remove non-video participants. All right. I don't use hand cams in coaching sessions often. It happens from time to time. It's like a 30% of the time I actually whip them out. It's usually just to make sure
Gotcha.
people aren't doing anything very wrong. Because there's a lot of ways you can grip your mouse wrong, but for the most part, people grip them right. Like, or other way around. There's a lot of ways you can grip your mouse correctly, but there are a few things that I'd argue are wrong, at least for some games.
Gotcha.
Nice, nice. So you've been playing for about a year, peak rank diamond.
I've been playing Valorant since it came out.
Since it
It's
came out,
actually
sorry.
one of my first PC games. I played
Really?
PUBG was my first like PC game. I played League about 10 years ago, but
Okay.
I never played FPS. So when I jumped into PUBG and using a mouse and keyboard was really hard for me to get used to.
Yeah.
Um, Played that game for about a year, and then I stopped playing FPS games until this came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like fell in love with this game. I haven't stopped playing it since it
Mm-hmm.
came out.
Okay.
Me and my friends. But
It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
this is just about this is about it. I play other games like super casually, but this is about what I spend most of my time doing.
Fair enough. Nice, nice. So you have no aim training experience? Like, have you done any?
I've probably have like 1 hour played in aim labs, and I downloaded Kovac specifically for this.
Okay.
The only aim training I ever did is deathmatch, and I've done a lot of time in the range.
How
Like
much time in the range would you spend per day on average?
I would say since I got back into the game, none on average, maybe
Okay.
5 minutes. But before I took my like 7 month break, I would spend about 30 minutes in the range.
Okay.
I would say, not every day, but yeah, every
Okay.
day that I got on.
So,
Uh, yeah,
all right. So,
go for it.
my goal isn't to give you like there's some people just make super long playlists and just say, "All right, play it." But
Okay,
I I mean like where I'm making a playlist personally for the person I'm designing it for, I don't really like the idea of just giving you something that you'll quit after 2 days because it takes like 3 hours long or whatever,
okay,
where it'll like kill your focus. So I really don't want to give you something that it's a lot better that you stay with a 15-minute playlist for months every day versus doing an hour long playlist like 3 or 4 times and then
okay.
just being like, all right, I'm done aim training. I had enough of this. This is boring. And you might not even like say, okay, I quit, but you might just be like, one day you're like, ah, I guess I won't do it today. And then the next day you're like, ah, I'll do it tomorrow. And then 3 months go by and you've never aim trained after the first
Gotcha.
day. So what I really want to do is, and the other thing that could happen is you could maybe be very loyal, follow the playlist, but you're not paying attention at all during it. You're kind of just mentally. Just go to Kovacs for me. You're
Sure.
kind of just mentally AFKing, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
where you're just like your hands doing the motions, but you're not actually actively working on your issues. And aim training is almost like flashcards, if that makes sense. It's like you get presented with something to do and you do it like a flashcard. You gotta be focused, you gotta try and remember it. You can like skim through a deck of flashcards all day long. I've been loving this analogy over the past few days. I've used it like 10 times. um, you can skim through a deck of flashcards all day long and just ignore them, but if you're actually able to focus on each flashcard, like you actually examine the card, you're gonna learn a lot more. So hit
All right.
settings for me, because you look like you're on default settings. Um, they changed up the settings menu since the last time I changed my settings. So let's see, sensitivity. You probably want to change the sensitivity scale to Valorant. Right there. You can change your DPI if you wish. Doesn't actually affect the game.
Uh,
Just whatever Valorant sense you've been running, you can just change it to.
I think.
For now, okay, 1600 148. So that's like 0.2, 0.3 on 8, so like 50 centimeters, okay? 55 centimeters. 103 Overwatch. So your crosshair right there, you can click on that. One below it, that's FOV. Go back to Overwatch for the FOV because Valorant doesn't actually have an FOV slider, so I don't actually know what 103 Valorant is or which one they'd actually want. Go to the crosshair, but 103 Overwatch is just Valorant. Um, if you go to the crosshair right there, the little cross, the white cross, the little actual like the red, yeah, click on that. You can just pick from whatever crosshair looks like something you'd want to run. And then you can see its actual size in the center of your screen in the middle of the menu. Not anymore, but if you select a new one, click on it, you'll see it. And you can make edits to that with the crosshair scale to be a size you want it to be. And then the tint, you can change to whatever color you want. Tint.
It's all good.
All right, white's fine. With a white
That's what I'm doing.
backdrop, you might. Or are you with a white backdrop? You. All right, so now go to video, or no, sorry, visuals. Visuals. Load a theme. Hit load theme. Drop down. I recommend Cloudy Marbly. I feel like that's a nice looking theme. It's very relaxed, very chill. Save it. No, not like that. Hit cancel. Hit cancel. Actually, go to weapons first. See where it says show weapon. Check that a second time.
Uh,
Top setting down. Right there, nice. Hit save. And now play. That's a lot better.
just the tracking.
No, I was just letting you see your settings. You don't actually have to play the
Okay.
scenario. Hit escape. So where did I want to go first? Go to online scenarios and go to Zen target switch. KovaaKsXen. Sorry. TS. No, actually type out target switch. I forgot. It's a weird one. Most things you can just type in TS, but for this one you gotta type out target switch. Top one. Play it. Move your hand cam back, your webcam back, so I can see the edge of your table.
Back. Like,
Or up, yeah, like almost like that, but not that. All right, that's good enough. Yeah. All right, play it.
all right. Shoot, is this a tracking or
Target switching. So hold on.
Jesus. Oh yeah, am I on stream so I can like watch my mouth?
Oh yeah, I haven't stopped streaming it, and the streams
Okay.
they're all public, so you'll be able to just watch it afterwards.
I feel like I'm going all over the place for this. Like my senses maybe a little too low for this. Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about it.
That felt really rough.
It happens. It wasn't really meant to feel like anything other than just forcing your arm to whip around a lot so I could see how it looks. Because in game, it looked almost like your table might have been a bit too high, but it's fine. Hit done.
I do think my table was too high, actually.
Really?
Yes.
And that, if it is, then the only reason it would be, and I didn't pick up on it, is if you're pulling your shoulder up and you were pulling it up the entire scenario. Like, were you pulling your shoulder up, or maybe you're...
Fuck. I think I was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I-
yep. That would
So,
explain
like-
it. Yeah, you were kind of throwing yourself off. That would make more sense. Um,
Yeah, this is as high as the chair goes and as low as I can make the table go. I already removed all the like things underneath and everything.
you throw a pillow under yourself?
I could do that.
All right. I don't know if you want to try it right now or if you want to try it after. But if you want to grab a pillow real quick and throw it under your chair, that could help a lot, I'd assume.
Okay.
I love built-in share modification. Did you already... You don't
Yeah,
have
I
to
did.
play the scenario through. You don't have to play through the scenario.
Okay.
Or you threw the
I-
pillow under you? Threw the
Yeah,
pillow
throw
under?
the, yeah,
Oh, I
threw
didn't even
the
see
pillow.
that. I didn't even see that. Do you feel like you're no longer forced to lift up your shoulder as much?
Not as much, definitely not as much.
All right. It probably still exists a bit.
Yeah, it does exist a bit. I've been trying to really like change the setup because I've always felt the table was too high, especially after that video you put out. Like things that
Yeah.
might be off.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That video was a lot of views. Was that the first one of my videos you saw?
No, I started watching your stuff basically when you started doing Valorant a while ago, like over a year ago.
When I started. Oh yeah, I nice. You've been there for a while. I don't know. I never really did one specific game. It was just whatever me and my friends were playing, I'd throw in the background. And that happened to be
Okay.
Valorant a year ago. So everyone was like, oh, it's Valorant content. It was like never intended to be Valorant content, if you know what I mean. It was just intended to be like KovaaKs content. But I figured people would want to see boring KovaaKs gameplay when they could see like random highlights of a random game. So I was doing
Yeah,
that.
I'd never even heard of KovaaKs before you.
Yeah. Like people saw it as like a shift. Like I got comments back in the day like go back to making siege content. I was like I never actually changed what game I was making content for. I just every now and then I'd do a video that was actually kind of Valorant based, and more as I got better because or as I got bigger because my fan base kind of grew around the fact that I had random Valorant videos in the background. But yeah, you can stop playing the scenario now. I don't.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable with it, that's all I needed
Yeah, I
to
need to
say.
get a taller chair. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I just gave you that one so that you could kind of. But yeah, if you could get a taller chair, that'd probably help you out a bit. So, let's see. What else do we want to work on?
Uh, I wanted to say two things. One,
Yep.
because the first thing that you said about like throwing scenarios and all that,
Mhm.
I actually don't mind if you give me something that's really long or really intense. I really want to dedicate most of my time to aim training now instead of
Yeah,
like
you want
15
to
minutes
right
or something like that.
now, but like a
I
week
think
from
it'll
now, a
last.
month from now, a year from now. If it let's put it like this.
All right,
If it lasts,
dope.
there's nothing stopping you from doing more then, right?
Gotcha.
But
Uh,
if it doesn't last, then you will be stopped from aim training altogether after like a week of doing it.
okay, you know better. And then the
So,
other thing I wanted to say is the reason I asked you about my grip is because I find when I like pay attention to what's going on in the range, I find myself having more trouble flicking to the right. And it's because I think that I am like hindering myself with my grip. Like I feel my mouse going into my hand or my hand like I don't know, crashing into itself. I
what?
don't know how to properly explain it. Like
Um,
when I flick to the left, it feels a lot more free. When I flick to the right, it feels a lot more restrictive. My flicks to the right are worse. I've noticed.
all right, let's that is interesting. Let's go into a hit the X right there.
The X.
The X.
Uh,
Let's go to a wide wall 3 targets Pokeball and do the full size version. There's a space and there's spaces. KovaaKs naming
uh,
conventions are so annoying because no one follows the same pattern. You'll have to type in the word Pokeball. Pokeball. Top one. Play it. All right, left. That's a left. You hold down the entire time.
oh, okay.
All right. Did you just hit free? Yeah, you hit free play. I thought you were doing challenge. So,
Uh,
what I did was I rewatched a bit of your Valorant gameplay and noticed that
okay.
you were kind of able to mask how shaky your aim was with you
Yeah.
can stop this with the fact that you can just phantom spray people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what we need to do is not be shaky. So, here, star this scenario so we can come back to it more easily. And then hit X. And we're just going to go to 1 wall 6 target small. It's the fifth one down. This is the very basic technique scenario. Like, it's a very good scenario for basic technique of flicking and being controlled. So just play it one through, do a challenge one time through without doing anything special. Just do a challenge and try and get the highest score you can. All right, cool. I'm gonna have you replay the scenario,
Okay.
but this time around, I want you to just draw perfectly straight lines slowly and smoothly between the targets.
Okay.
Just your goal is to never miss, and for all your targets to be perfectly straight, or all your lines to be perfectly straight. Slow down even more because you're missing and over flicking. Like I'm not even joking. You're not trying to get a score at all. You're trying to literally just feel a perfect, like, yeah, even that's slow down. Like, again, this is not proper flick technique. You're not trying to get a good score. You're not trying to do anything proper. You're just trying to not shake at all. Not have the micro adjust, perfect technique, gliding across. Like, if you asked anyone, this is very bad technique for the scenario because we're not trying to get a high score. We're trying to do something different.
I'm so doing bad. I'm sorry.
No worries. Just don't. No, you were doing it right before, and then once you said I'm so bad, I'm sorry, you started flicking randomly. Just keep it as straight as possible. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit done. We're going to go to smoothness trainer 60. Or actually just search up, yeah, just search up smooth. Search up the letters, the word smooth. And then go to the, let's go to, I'm just looking through to see which one I actually want to use. Let's do the top
Gotcha.
one. Let's do the top one. Second to top one, sorry.
Shit.
That'll be way too hard for you. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. This one will be a little bit easier. By a little bit, I mean it's the easiest scenario in KovaaKs. Oh, wait, no, it's the second easiest. Is this thing just not switching directions? That's a
Oh, I'm
very...
supposed to be shooting it. My bad.
Yeah, that is part of the scenario. I've never seen it go so long without switching directions before. That's actually really rare for a bot pattern. Let's go to smooth. All right, hit done. Go to smoothness trainer 60. That basically just, and then center your hand before starting. And then play. Basically what this does is it angle locks it to 60 degrees. So they call it 60. It's closer to 90, but I don't know. It's probably 60. Um, and by angle locking it, basically what that does is it doesn't make you reset your arm constantly. All right, cool. Play that one more time and just try to be very steady. Like, actually, wait, hold up. Actually, hit done. Search up centering 1. Centering 1. Uh, let's see, 180. Is 180 the only one? Yeah, just do 180.
First or second?
Second. Oh, wait, hold up. Hit X, hit X. Hit the X, get out of there. Search up centering 1, but use the Roman numeral capital I. Centering space, I, enter. And then space. And then 9. Let's do the top one. Depending on how big this is, we might go to a different one. Play it. No, it's pretty good for you. Cool. Hit done. Um, So go to, yeah, you can hard that. Go back to 106 target small now.
What was it again?
The fifth one down, or sixth one down. Play it. You don't have to go as perfectly straight, but just try to flick and then micro adjust. You somehow made that into a high score. Just had to grab my pillow real quick. That was good. Or it was not shaky. I wouldn't say it was good. It definitely applied the technique we were working on previously. So now I'm gonna hold on a second. I'm just adjusting my chair because I want to demonstrate a little. And I haven't really set up my home setup for gaming yet. Hold on a second. I'm gonna share my screen now. So this is gonna be quite bad as I really have not played at home since I've what's it called? Since I've gotten home, so I'm not really gonna be able to play easily.
No, you're
But
good.
just let me warm up for a second. So this is you, right? You're very straight, very smooth.
How do I watch what you do?
That's what I told you to do last time. Yeah, that's you right now, right? This was you before.
No. Like, how do I see your screen?
Oh, I'm not streaming on Discord? It says I'm streaming on Discord. See? Click on the center screen.
Oh, my bad.
No worries. So this is you, right? Or this was you after we talked. Very slow, smooth, in control, almost perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was you before.
Yeah.
Very shaky, very gets around to it. Not really even hitting as much as I'm hitting, missing a decent bit. Shaking way too much, right?
Okay.
So what you'd want to do ideally is a fast flick, a micro adjustment. Doesn't have to be a slow micro adjustment, but you'd want to still have a fast motion between the bots, but you wouldn't want it to be all over the place. You just want it to be towards the other bot. And excuse my missing and like my lack of skill. I'm not warmed up at all.
No, you're good.
But like you see how this is again not very good, but like it's faster and straighter, right? If that
Mhm.
makes sense. So let's
Yeah.
see. I want to see your screen again. Try this time around. Obviously, last time I told you to be straight, but try this time around to be a bit quicker with the initial flick without getting any shakes in there.
Okay.
So do you understand the concept of a micro adjustment?
Yeah. So like you flick, and then after your initial flick, you make a micro adjustment.
Mm-hmm. So what I want you to try this time around, basically, when you're at a high level, they'll feel almost the same. When you're at a pretty average level, they'll feel like they're different things, but they'll still feel very connected, right? When you're at your level and your level of shakiness, I just want you to go slow, flick, micro adjust, flick, pause, micro adjust. Take a short pause, land your flick, and then micro adjust onto the target, okay?
Okay.
Instead of shaking around, panicking, trying to find the target right after you flick, just calm down, slow down, micro adjust. Replay it. Nope, nope, you stop flicking, you're just gliding.
I'm trying to mentally like focus on that. I'm having trouble.
What are you mentally focusing on instead?
Like I'm trying to like mentally focus on flick, like Michael Justin said. Like I don't know why I feel like what you're saying. Like I'm stressed, like pressed, trying to find the next target instead of just flicking over.
Don't worry about it. Also, here, pause this for a second. Pause this for a second,
Sure.
and then you can reset it afterwards so that the score doesn't look worse. Um, so what you want to be doing is stop a bit of gliding between targets, right? There was some gliding. I'm not sure. You probably don't. Basically, there was times where you'd go. There'd be two targets that are pretty far apart. If they're like micro adjustment distance apart, it doesn't matter. But they were relatively far apart, and you'd just go one smooth, slow, straight flick between them instead of a fast flick and then a micro adjustment, right? So try not to do that. Replay it. Relax your hand. So it seems to me like halfway through your flicks, when there's shaky flicks, you're thinking, oh no, I'm no longer moving towards the target. And then you try to correct that. That
Hmm.
seems like it's the source of your shakiness. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So try to not do that. Try to just keep going in a straight line. You got the micro adjustment to get yourself back on target. Keep going. Don't panic shake your way out of things. Replay it. All right, so a few rules of thumb. Pick a target, pick the next target, and go to it. If you miss a target and then you're already on your way to the next target, don't turn around and go back. Just keep going. All right?
All right.
And if a new target spawns in that's super close, but you're already on your way to a far away target, just keep going on your way to the far away target. Replay it. So now this time around, I want you to go back to just really focusing on being straight and fast with your initial flicks.
Straight and fast.
More fast, less straight.
Are you telling me to be
Compared
more
to what
fast?
you were doing, go faster than you were. You started gliding. Straight, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight onto the target, right? It just has to be
Okay.
straight, as in not shaking a ton. Fast to nair the target, and then a micro adjustment onto the target. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm gonna share my screen again. This thing right here,
Mhm.
it's the target, right?
All right.
This green thing, it's the area around the target, right? Just imagine it's the same circular shape as the target. No, it's not a perfect circle.
Mhm.
And this right here is your crosshair right after killing the last target. Now, what your goal hypothetically would be is to land on this green region, somewhere in this green region, and then make one micro adjustment onto the target. So this is what's good, right?
Mhm.
So this is what you do a lot of times. You'll you'll be headed towards the green region, and the green region is very arbitrary. It's not like it actually means anything, right? It's just an arbitrary, or it's not like it actually means a specific size. It varies as you get better. This might be just the area like this far from the target, and as you get worse, it might be like a very big area, right? But, or not as you get worse, but as you want, like when you're starting out. But then what you'll do instead of just keeping going and having a straight flick towards the green area is you'll just see, oh, I'm above the target. I'm going to be above it. I'm going to be above it. And you'll panic and you'll jump down. And all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I'm down. And you'll go back up. You'll be, oh no, I'm too high. And then you'll go back down and up. And eventually you're on the target, right?
All right.
And now what started out when we started out the session, you'd be like that from the start, and it would result in a flick that looks like this rather than a flick that looks like this when you were completely capable of doing that because you just didn't have to panic, right? And now what'll happen is you're pretty good. Like 3 out of every 4 shots are a relatively straight line to the green zone. Now, sometimes what you'll do, you'll have a few shots in a row where you get in the headspace of being straight, which means which you'll take as meaning landing directly on the target. Now, that's not true. You can just land anywhere in the green zone, right? But you try to be so straight you land perfectly on target and not need a micro adjustment. That's not a good thing, right? Because then you slow down too much because you don't have the skill level to quickly flick between targets that size. So instead, which is roughly the same size as a Valorant head. So instead, focus on flicking fast to somewhere in the green zone and then making one singular micro adjustment onto the target. That's a big one. One micro adjustment versus like 500, because that's what you're doing now is you'll treat micro adjustments the way you treated flicks before the session started, where you'd bounce around constantly. So here, go again. Try to do that, but more. That's my stream. Go again, but try to be very smooth, fast, straight with it. And you watched my demonstration, right, on the Google drawing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got worried for a second that you might have missed it. All right, now you're being too. Gliding
What?
is the word for going super slow between the targets and super straight to the point where you're not even flicking and it's like you're tracking like we were doing early in the session. You were gliding. You went back to a target. You pick a target and commit to it. It's a big one.
Is it possible that the scenario is like too huge? Like I'm just not used to like in a game like Valorant. I feel like I'm really used to like everything is most shots are at the same level, and here
Yeah, we
I'm like
can we
all the
can
way up,
I'll
all the way
throw
down.
some horizontalish versions on your routine. I don't think the verticality itself is your major
The
issue in this
issue.
scenario. And
Gotcha. Of
if it is, it's still good to overcome that issue because there is still verticality in Valorant.
course.
You don't always encounter it, but then you're just someone who succumbs to off angles way too often.
All right.
But yeah, we'll put on horizontal scenarios onto your routine. So for the most part, though, and even on horizontal flicks, you don't have great technique, so I don't think that's the main issue.
Okay.
So for the most part, though, what I want you to work on is just getting better at flick, micro adjust, if that makes sense. And just
Yeah.
having very good, very straight but fast technique flicks. So we're going to focus on, your routine's going to focus on 1 while 6 target small and Pokeball scenarios and horizontal versions of the scenario and just stuff like that to really focus, just flick, micro, try to be straight, fast, close to the target, and not shaky. And one micro adjustment for now. So
Okay.
replay it. Go again. Gliding a bit. Okay, cool. So, a bit of a strategical technique. What you want to also work on is actually when there's a bunch of targets that are close to each other, that's called a cluster. Focus on
Okay.
hitting clusters. What that does is, one, it gives you a little micro scenario that isolates your micro adjustments and kind of lets you work on that. But two, it keeps your scores more consistent because if the target spawns are already random and then you go for a random target, maybe you'll have some runs like your 700 run where you targeted pretty much perfectly which bots you wanted to go after, right? You had almost perfect clusters. Then you'll have runs like this one where you'll half the time go for clusters, half the time you won't. So really just try and take out the clusters when bots are clustered together. And like if you see 4 bots up in one corner and you're slightly closer to the other 2 in the other corner, I'd go for the 4 in the one corner. That might be a bit further, but all of a sudden you get a cluster of 4 because once that those 4 are redispersed across the map, all of a sudden you have a chance that there's 3 over there, and that's really just the KovaaKs technique, but it
Yeah.
helps your scores stay more consistent so you can track your progress more easily. So
Okay.
replay it.
Yeah, makes sense. I wasn't worried about target selection right now, but
Yeah,
that makes sense.
just replay it. Yeah, no, I know you were mostly focused on technique. And keep the focus on technique, but just be aware that's also something you can do. Restart this, your micros have been terrible. Remember, like, don't shake a ton on the micros, just stop and like just don't glide either. You're gliding now. You're gliding now. You're going exact opposite. Aim is
Okay.
about balance, right? There's you can go too far with anything and it will be bad. Basically, there's what you want to be doing is there's never something that's wrong or something that's right unless you go too far with it, right? You can be so fast you're shaky, but so slow you're gliding. You want to find a balance. You want to be in the middle of these things, right? You don't want to be going too far with anything. So I'd recommend going more average and so restart this and just try and see what we can do. Try and get a high score and see what we can do. Okay. So you were in the high score, you just clicked excellently once at towards the end, and that accuracy score took you out of a high score zone, but that's fine. Um, where do I want to go with this? So you were definitely very shaky. If focusing on with your micros, especially your flicks were actually pretty good for that one. But if focusing on target selection makes your micro adjustments be shaky because it just overwhelms you, just give up target selection for a little bit of time and focus on the actual flick technique, right? So
All right.
what I'm gonna do right now for you is I'm gonna make you a quick playlist. New edit. So what I'm gonna put in it, how long did we say we were gonna aim train per day for you? 15 minutes ish to
Yeah, I
start
think you
out,
said
and
at
then
least.
as you
Yeah.
go on, as you kind of progress, we can do more. So what I'm gonna put in the playlist is 1 rep of centering 190 easy no strafes. For that scenario, I really just want you to wait, can you not change order anymore? Oh, that's how you do it. For that scenario, I really just want you to focus on not flicking and just smoothly moving between the bots. And then we're gonna do a few. We'll do 5 1 while 6 target smalls, right? For those, I just want you to focus on the very pure technical flick. And then we're gonna go to a wide wall 3 targets Pokeball, where you'll have all of a sudden a full automatic weapon, you'll be moving a lot faster, right? Because it's just, I don't know. And because the targets are further apart. So when they're further apart, there's more time in the initial flick. So you hit a higher velocity. And just try to avoid shaking on that too. And then we're going to bounce
Okay.
to wide wall 3 targets, where all of a sudden you'll have to click. So you might feel a bit more technique come into play. And for that one, just try and hold the line and stay very steady and not shaky. And then we'll wrap up the last 3 minutes with some micro plus plus, 1 wall 6 targets, small, 1 wall 6 targets, micro plus, actually wait, is it normal or is it small? I forget. No, it's normal. Okay. So for that scenario, it's just a basic micro adjustment scenario. It'll be pretty easy for you. The targets are relatively big and kind of just there. Just work on making one micro adjustment. Make sure you only have one micro adjustment between each target. Because you know what I mean by one micro adjustment, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to make
So
sure. Hmm.
yeah, I was gonna say once I flick to the target, not like shaky like you showed in the demonstration, like
Yeah.
leg to the head.
And let's see. It says you have the scenario running 9 times in your playlist, but that's just because it's a 20-second scenario, so 3 times through it is a minute. And that's why it seems like it's a lot of time, but it's actually not that much time. It's 15 minutes. Um, hmm. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. So I'm just trying to remember where I was going with this whole thing. Sorry about that.
All good.
So yeah, do you have any questions for me? Anything you feel like I missed covering? Anything you want tips on?
Um, one. So last thing I think I would ask is I've been rotating between, uh, like keeping I don't know how to describe it, forearm off the table or elbow off the table, and then sometimes I do elbow on the table. I don't know if that makes a major difference or like
You have
when
to
that I should be doing
cave
over
your
the other.
posture in a lot to put the elbow on the table. And I think the reason you've been switching between those two things is because your chair table height difference is too far. So what ends up happening is you're just looking for a way to compensate, like other than lifting your elbow up and all those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really work on. So for those, honestly, I think if you found like a pillow that helped boost your chair height a bit, it'd help you a lot.
All right.
Cool. So that's all I
Oh,
got
and
for
can
you.
you send me the mouse pad that you mentioned at the
Oh
beginning of
yeah, sure. It's just the one I use. Let's see. Amazon. Amazon. Uh, Glorious. It's the first thing that pops up when I open Amazon. That's funny. This lasts. I think it'll last a bit longer than your current mouse pad. All right. So if you got no questions left for me, I'm gonna hop
No,
to my
that's it.
next student.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming. I'll talk to you. And any questions, DM them to me. And also, if you start to feel like you're at a point where you want to coach, you feel like your flick technique has improved a lot, and you want another session, just let me know, and you can get another session on the site. Buy another session if you want it at some point, like 2-3 months down the line.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, but yeah. So we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right, perfect.
Have a
Bye.
nice day. Peace.
You too. Does Ray not have me added as a friend? How do we not have each other as friends? What? I've, I don't think we've added each other as friends yet. Oh, never
I
mind.
guess not.
Yeah, that's funny. It took us 3 sessions. So let's see, where do we leave off with our last session?
Last was a recession,
Yep.
or this one should be a recession. Last one was like a 10-minute checkup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the or not 10. Last one was a VOD. Is this our
Yeah.
first 30-minute check-in or our second 30-minute
This
check-in?
should be the last. This is like the last one in
Okay,
the
this is the last
thing.
thing. This is the last thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where have we left off with
Hold on,
you?
I'll
Just
find
skimming
it and
through my.
then-
It should be up here somewhere. I just get a. Okay, you got top 100 in OCH click. That's nice. Top 2000 in Pasu. So it looks like we were working a lot on dynamic technique to get you out of Ascendant. Have you gotten out of Ascendant?
Well, you see, I had this crazy thing happen where I went all the way down to gold to diamond 1, and then now I'm back up Ascendant
All the way
1.
to gold or diamond 1?
Diamond, I misspoke.
No worries. So we're back to Ascendant. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Let's watch a
changed one
deathmatch.
thing.
Let's watch a deathmatch. What'd you
Okay,
change?
sure, I gotcha.
What'd you-
So I you know my common problem has been tension.
Okay, yep.
So I have a Hien, which is a speed or a speed pad compared to the 0, which is like your GSRSEs. Those
That's a
type of
really
things.
soft pad, I've heard. Yeah.
Yes, it is a very soft pad. But I have the Hien X soft because the soft is too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I also, a common problem in my room is it'll be 68 in the morning and then 85 in the afternoon. So I just got an arm sleeve just to get rid of that
Okay.
bullshit on my mouse pad, plus
And the
keep it cleaner.
arm sleeve dropped you 3 ranks?
No. It was that I was coming over the, because my problem was I felt like I was trying to overcome so much static friction that I just was missing shots left, right, and center. And since I've had this, I've been performing dramatically better.
Okay, good. Yeah, that'll help you a lot, and a fan can also help because that can keep the room cold.
Dude, this fan is always on. It is full blast right now. I'm pretty sure I set my noise gate so you can't hear it. So it's just
Okay.
my room is 3 exterior walls, so it does not matter.
Nice.
Plus, my computer's a space heater, so it doesn't help either. I'm just waiting for Valorant to load up. It's taking
Yep, no worries.
too long.
So yeah, now that you're wrapping up your plan,
Mm-hmm.
if you want more sessions, I'm on a new site. I'm not sure if you saw that,
Yeah,
but
I
I
saw that. Yeah, I saw
launched
it.
my own coaching site. Very cool site. I'm streaming, so I'm taking the time to plug it as well. I launched my own
Figure.
coaching site. Very cool. You can hire a bunch of coaches. A lot of cool things. Very nice
Yeah.
UI.
I've
Yeah.
not been having a good experience with Medify, just in general.
Really?
Yeah. It's just been so difficult to even like get stuff to you. It's just been like I have to retry uploading things like 3 to 4 different times just to get it to you.
Yeah, we set up this site to have VOD submission can be done just by YouTube VODs, which is nice.
Thank God. Because that was the number one
Show
problem.
VODs.
But yeah, now that I got rid of a lot of like the static friction, everything feels more fluid. Because now it's just down to mouse control.
Nice, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you're just queuing for a deathmatch. Nice. Nice. As long as you just keep working on it and improving, that's what matters. Nice. So yeah, we're gonna get you to Immortal soon.
I'm trying to get it before I go to the Air Force.
Oh right, that's right. You're leaving soon. When is that? September probably.
Theoretically August, but maybe later.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you don't get Immortal before Air Force, you're probably not gonna get it. Like realistically. I don't mean, or just realistically speaking, like if are you doing when you say Air Force, are you just enlisting or are you going to a school or what?
It's active duty, and then I'll be away for a long time, like 4
Okay.
years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I see it as, so we really got to get it done by the end of the summer or you will be gone.
Yeah. But yeah, like a lot of the changes I've made is just help with being more fluid.
Nice. That's good.
Oh. Oh.
Dominating.
So what I've had you working on before this was a dynamic type playlist where you really just work on
Yeah.
being smoother and dynamic.
Sure. I mean, whatever is gonna like refine things.
No, I'm
not
saying, is
really
that what you have
particular.
been working on?
I just been. It's just what I have been doing normally. I was when I did the Aimer 7 stuff like 2 years ago. It was mostly the just flicking, nothing dynamic at all, like zero tracking
Yeah.
basically.
But I'm saying the past few months you've been working on that dynamic playlist?
Dominating.
Yeah, I've either been doing that or just kind of avoiding it and just doing deathmatch sometimes,
Okay.
just to avoid the burnout of aim chaining.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'm noticing now is when you're strafing, you tend to struggle to get onto people's heads easily, like when you're like kind of the merging of movement and aim, see, like right there, see?
Like that, yeah. No, that's where my weak side is.
So what we're gonna work on this time around, there's some KovaaKs scenarios that are 1-to-1 in Valorant frictions, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're tracking scenarios. They're basically just strafe tracking scenarios where you're tracking someone, and we got them for all sorts of differences because some guy got really into making them. So we got
Sweet.
a bunch of KovaaKs scenarios for like that type of thing, and a bunch of
Yeah.
other types of things where the other guy's counter strafing, you're counter strafing, and you're just trying to be able to
Basically
keep your
track
crosshair
that
on his head
perfectly.
the entire time, which will help you get. But since you won't be able to do that, it'll help you get back onto his head when you're not on his head in a situation like that or any of these other situations. And after that, you should be ready to move on to some bigger things, better things,
Yeah.
and get immortal.
I feel like I'll probably get to immortal, hopefully, while I'm doing it, because that would be really nice.
Yeah. We want you to get immortal as soon as possible. I think you're
Mechanically, I'm good enough to get immortal. I have to focus more on the brain, but if I can just focus on aim, I should be
Yeah.
okay.
I think you might want to do some focusing on braining because I've definitely coached immortals who are much worse at aiming than you. I might have
Yeah.
even had a few Radiants who are, especially scores wise, like KovaaKs wise. I think I might have even had a Radiant or two who might have been worse than you.
Yeah, because at that point, like a lot of the aiming is going to be like this stuff. Like there's an angle here, and I'm swinging it
Yeah,
like this.
it's not
or
even
it's
aiming,
like
it's
that.
thinking. It's all brain. Crosshair placement. People say crosshair placement's like an aim. It's crosshair placement is not part of aim because it's predicting where the enemy is going to be and then doing an action based on the prediction
That's why I
of where
stopped
the
like
enemy
rounding corners like
will
this. That's
be.
why I stopped rounding corners because it's just kind of useless. Because then that happens.
Yeah. Where's I going with that? Yeah. Crosshair placement, a lot of people try to argue that it's an aim skill. It's not really an aim skill. It's a game sense skill. Like you're
It's
predicting
not
where
just knowing common angles like right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would consider a game sense or game knowledge or whatever you want to call it. But you can't call it aim because it's, and people will be like, my aim's good because I have good crosshair placement. Therefore, people will say
Yeah.
like their aim's like better than like Maddie Overwatch or something because like they can place their, that's not aiming. That's game sense. It's a skill, don't get me wrong, it's a very important skill, but it's not aim. Nice.
One kill
Nice. One enemy remaining. Deeg.
Yeah, this is where I struggle. Ah! Screw it.
Yep, with the getting on the head while they're... You have the same thing with the Vandal. Vandal's just a bit faster, a bit more accurate. For a few more shots. So you can cope a bit better.
Yep, basically.
Nice. So let's hop into KovaaKs and let's look at some of the scenarios I want to show
Alright.
you.
I think I'm actually better at aiming now than I was when I first got Immortal.
I hope so.
Like,
I mean, I've been
like
working with you for so long. I'd hope you've gotten better since then. Otherwise, I'm useless. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I was just honestly comparing the peak then and now.
Yeah.
versus,
Okay,
like,
I
the
see what you're saying. I
aiming.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like if I spent a lot of money on this, I hope to God I'm better.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see all the placements. Let's see OCH, what I get. I'm 99. And then far no bodies, number 2. 5 wall, 618.
All right, share your screen for me.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's search up online scenarios. Let's search up Boon Strafe. Boon Strafe. Okay, try putting a space between those.
There you
Okay,
go.
cool. Let's do second one.
Right here.
Yep. But
Holy Jesus Christ.
earn more points. Is it on challenge or free play?
I just
It's on
got
challenge.
play,
It's on
honestly.
challenge. It's on challenge. Yeah,
Let's
you're
see.
good. Yeah, you're chilling.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe the only full auto versions of those are ones I've made.
Jesus. I was gonna make me run out of mouse pad space.
That's what he does. Let me launch up KovaaKs myself and try and find the versions I made.
Okay.
Boon. Okay.
Oh, what the hell?
Hold on one second. I'll just add a couple. Save. Edit. Send to. Send. Upload. Okay, that's a local scenario. Why is that? Why is this a local playlist? Oh, because it was on local scenarios. Create new playlist. Online. New. Edit. Save. Edit. Send to Ray. Local scenarios. Val track short strafes. How long per day do you train?
30.
30. And strafe tracking. Boons. 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 Can I not save this? Oh. Center. Save it. Nice. I'm just playing through a few of these to make sure they're all what I wanted.
Okay.
Nice. Alright, cool. And then edit this to have like 3 of them. Blood. Alright, so what I want you to do is play a few scenarios off this playlist. And
Okay,
did I
give me a
just hit
second.
Control C on a blank thing? Hold on a second. There we go. So yeah, put that playlist into your KovaaKs. I'm gonna count how long it
Okay.
is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. Okay, and you train for 30 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
Ray. And your resession was OCH click, passive, control sphere. Okay, we're gonna take out the tracking, and I'm gonna have, because now we're doing a lot of tracking.
Yeah.
OCH click, we'll do, and passive, 115 targets passive. 115 targets passive small. We'll do 2 of each of these, and I'll even 2 extra control sphere.
Okay.
Just because that's vertical tracking, so it's a bit different than what you're doing. It's helpful.
Yeah.
And so the playlist I just sent you, I think I'll probably revise it as the session goes on, or maybe I won't,
Yeah.
but that'll be the playlist we use for you. It has 20 scenarios, or it has 17 plus 1 plus 5.
A
It has
lot.
23 scenarios in it, right? But I wouldn't really call it even the 17 that are one scenario. I wouldn't even call it a true 1x1 because it's slight variations of different scenarios because people are always at different
Yeah.
distances in game. So it's basically just the different distances they can be at, like 30, 40 meters, and different, like, slightly different strafe patterns and all those types of things for the bot. And you're able to move in pretty much all of them, and you'd want to move because it's very similar to Valorant.
Is the movement similar? Because like whenever I've tried doing it in
Oh,
KovaaKs,
movement.
it just feels so awkward.
Movement should be 1-to-1, or at least
Okay.
extremely close. Like,
It has the same acceleration curve or whatever the hell.
here, let me pull it up. r/fps. Boom. Um. There we go. Share your screen. Here, watch my screen share.
Yeah.
This is the KovaaKs movement and the Valorant being played next to each other.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 1-1. Okay, that's my
For
only
sh-
concern. Like, whenever I've done it before, it's never been beneficial to try and practice it because it's so, like, it's just instantaneous instead of the deceleration and acceleration again.
Yeah. Which scenarios we're practicing on?
Oh, God, I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Oh, I'm watching my own screen share now.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
I've never seen it look like that before.
That's cool.
Oh, it's because it's your logo. All right, let's watch your screen share.
Okay.
Share me some KovaaKs and let's see you attempt some of these scenarios.
Just go through them.
Yeah, just go through the first few, and then the one we have playing 3 times we'll skip ahead to after the first few.
Okay.
Or like just skip through. Yeah, like that would be like the smallest they'll get. That's like a 40-meter Valorant enemy. And yeah, you just want to work on. Yup, exactly what you're doing. It's hard, but it helps. Some of them will be much easier because they'll be like 10 meters. But it does feel like Valorant, right?
Oh, yeah, literally 1-to-1. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. How far aim training's come.
I'm also bursting like I would too, so that's good.
That's good. Yeah, you can burst like you would in Valorant. You can also just hold down the entire time.
I don't know. It helps with the muscle memory, I guess.
The benefit of holding down the entire time would be that you're getting feedback the entire time of where you are relative to the person. You can also change it to keyboard shooting, since you wouldn't really track them by holding down the entire time, so that it feels like you're what's it called? You're not shooting the whole time, but it'll give you feedback as to where you are constantly versus just feedback on your shots. And you can like change it so you have keyboard shooting and not keyboard shooting and do like every other one. But I would recommend doing at least some where you treat it like an actual tracking scenario.
Okay, sure.
Cool. So yeah,
And
just
10
yeah, let's do the
meters.
10-meter. Let's see how 10-meter plays for you. You might be in a bit of a tight box there. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like you got some room to move. All right, cool. Hit done for me. And now bounce down to the WP Boone movement practice right there. It's a little scenario I made by taking the 5-meter version and just removing the movement boundaries. So here, play it. You'll probably want to, yeah. Basically, you can move wherever you want. The world record, you're not going to beat it because it was just someone who got the bot into a corner and then just walked into the corner with the bot. And then
well, that's just.
and then just stood
I mean,
there.
if there's a will, there's a way, I guess.
Held down, and it was like the day after I announced the scenario on Twitter, and they were like, look at this, I destroyed the whole system. I was like, it was a movement, the scenario literally has practice in the name. Like, scores are cool and all, but like,
Almost
didn't really
irrelevant.
intend this as a benchmark or anything. You didn't really break anything, you just got a cool score. And they were like, oh. But yeah.
Well, I gotta see this score. Is it like something stupid? Oh no, it's gone. Or is that the?
I don't know.
Guys.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know what people did. I might have reset it. I don't know.
Zexro.
You got Zexro. Oh yeah, I made this back when I was working with Zexro. Forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I remember watching all those.
That was a while ago. He got so addicted to his sensitivity, I just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And then there was the time I was working with Daznert. He's in 17. That was pretty fun. We just kind of DM'd less and less because we were both like students with full-time classes and just didn't have a lot of time to,
Yeah.
and he has streaming
pretty
and
cool.
I had content, so I coached him for a bit and then we kind of just stopped. And Dirty Dan, the absolute FPS god, in number 5. Who else
Oh,
is
I don't
on
think
that
I've heard.
list? I think I'm like
What game did he play?
Dirty Dan. He's like a tier 2 CS player, but he has a bunch of top. He's not like an actual famous person. But he's got a bunch
I
of top
barely watched
scores.
any.
He's got a
Yeah, I
bunch
barely
of
watched
top
any
scores
CS.
on my scenarios. He's like follows me on Twitter or whatever. I've never even coached him, I don't think, but he'll just play a bunch of my scenarios.
Dude's cracked.
And, yeah, he's really good. He's like, remember Stark? I'm not sure if you saw him. He made a bunch of the WPV scenarios.
Oh yeah, no. My goal is just to try and find Stark on any of the ones you're giving me, and I'm just gonna pass him because why not?
Yeah, because he's pretty good. He hasn't played in a while, but Dirty Dan was the only person close to him when we were testing those scores. Let's see.
You want me to do it again or go to another one?
Let's go to another one. Just bounce around a bit. Like, I mean, you've seen pretty much what these are. I don't think any of them are weird. It's possible that someone kept the same naming conventions and put in a scenario without me knowing, because I just went off the fact that the names are consistent and just different meters. But it's possible someone changed something about it where it's kind of weird. But it should be pretty good. They should all be pretty much feel very similar.
I've not
but
played
just,
whatever this is.
Yeah, just play that.
Oh shit.
What is? Hold up. Hit escape. Did I accidentally put that on the playlist? Scroll down through the playlist. I don't remember. Oh, I did put that on the playlist. That would have been what we call a misclick, misinput. Yeah, just remove that and just add in one more edit. Just add in one more of the WP movement practice at the bottom. WP movement practice, and I'll upload it on my end. Edit 4. Good catch on that one. I don't know how I let that slip by me. No, not. Oh yeah, wait, no, that's right. I re-uploaded it. You're good now.
All right, cool.
Let's see. Any questions? Any other problems you've noticed arising lately?
No. I mean, my number one problem has just been tension in my arm, and I
Tension in your arm.
I feel like I've just.
That's another thing.
Just poof.
Has it been going away?
Oh, since I've done this, it's gone entirely. Like, there's still some stiffness, but it's when I'm doing really, really, really small movements.
What is this? Just curious.
Arm sleeve, different.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you'll probably notice the really small smoothness if you focus on it while you're working on this specific playlist. It'll probably help you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to give you if that's all you got for me.
Yeah, no, I mean that's really it. Like nothing really. I mean,
Yeah.
like in game, it's really just my head need to work on, which is fine.
Yep, and yeah, just work on that, and you'll be immortal in no time, 0 time.
All right, sweet. That was nice and simple.
All right, thank you. I'll be in.
Have a good one, man.
All right, yeah, you too. We'll just work on this playlist and let me know how it goes for you. Let me know when you hit immortal finally.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, bye. Let's see what this is. Someone sent me. I don't want to watch this on stream, but I'm going to watch. Congratulations, you've been promoted to immortal. I'm going to like scroll up. Nice. This guy got promoted to immortal. W. Alright, one of my students just hit his first immortal. What arm sleeve? Just the arm sleeve to make his arm slide across the mouse easier. My aim gets worse. What should I do? Get better. It's not the sense. The issue is not the sense when you're shaky. There's yeah, we finished up this all stuff. I gotta edit someone's playlist. I'll do that while I'm still on stream. So this somehow ended up, what was it, 27 minutes too long? It's 26 minutes too long because there were too many scenarios. So that was just me being bad at mental math. And there were a few scenarios that got put in twice, apparently. Okay, what? Passive track, extra small, smooth. Let me pull out a calculator. 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3. OCH click fire, no bodies. Alright. Plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, that is weird. Okay. Okay, so that shouldn't be the issue. Okay, that is weird. That guy was basically just telling me some issues with the playlist. Anyone have any questions for me specifically that they want to get answered before I... What's up? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. Right. Honestly, it's down to the thread count of the sleeve, which isn't advertised. It's also down to the thread direction. That's a big part of it. Because threads that are perpendicular glide across easily. Threads that are not don't glide across easily. Let's see. My aim is crazy good. How long would you say it takes to get used to a new sense? Like, isn't bad to switch to. How long does it take to get used to a new sense? 5 to 10 minutes, probably, if you're not good at getting used to new sensitivities. If you're good at it, maybe like 30 to 45 seconds. Maybe if, yeah, it probably shouldn't be more than 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe like an hour if you've never changed your sense before. What's up, coach? I'm doing good. How you doing? Mm, yeah, I'll give a minute or two for stream delay to catch up, and if no one else has questions, oh yeah, plug. I've made a new coaching website. It's very cool. It's very fun. There's a lot of coaches on it. If you want to get coached by me or other coaches who coach in one of these very cool games, you should do that. If you want to coach in one of these very cool games, you should do that. If you want to, or if you want to coach in another game, we can throw it on there and you can do that. You can hire Valorant coaches, KovaaKs coaches, Overwatch coaches. You can get coached in whatever you want. Okay, you can't hire Overwatch coaches right now. But yeah, get coached. If no one else has anything else, I'm gonna end the stream and call it a day. Should you track with your wrist or no? No. You should just track the target. You shouldn't have to isolate a specific joint to track a target. It really depends on how the target's moving, and at the end of the day, you should not be thinking about that. All right. Best be on. Oh, is an elevated wrist, I've heard people say that's like bad for stability. I don't really think it's a big deal. I don't think that's a big deal. There's people who do. I don't really. I see the argument, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yes, it's the greatest website in the world. Best coaching website. Become a coach on gamercoach.gg. Or become a student. Buy coaches. We need people buying coaches. All right. If that's what everyone's done with, I'd best be on my way. So thank you all for coming out.